Hello everyone, welcome back. You're tuning in to another episode of your favorite true crime show, Killer Bites. I'm your host, Brandi, and we've got a case that'll make you question everyone you know. Ever get to a time during the year when you're feeling burnt out, like you could use a vacation? Ever thought about heading someplace warm with a bunch of friends and hanging out? Sounds like a dream, right? Well, what happens if that dream gets dark, maybe even deadly? That's what happened for Shanquella Robinson. A dream vacation turned into a complete nightmare. Back in October of 2022, Shanquella Robinson, only 25 years old, and a group of 6 of her friends decided to take a vacation trip to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, for some fun, sun, and relaxation. What exactly happened between the time of their arrival in Mexico and the time Shanquella's parents got a call from one of her friends notifying them of their daughter's death is hard to say, as reports of this case have been muddied from the beginning. It's confusing and seems intentional on the part of all of her friends. Here's what we know so far. Robinson went to the Mexican resort on October 28th, according to her family's accounts. Then, roughly 24 hours later, Robinson's parents said they got a frantic telephone call from their daughter's friends saying she had died from alcohol poisoning. When an autopsy was conducted, the Mexican Secretariat of Health's report and death certificate do not mention alcohol at all. It took leaked footage of a woman who appeared to be Shanquella being brutally beaten to get the national attention this case so rightly deserves, and subsequently the attention of the FBI. Robinson's family called on authorities to not ignore the case, but to take a deeper look, as they insisted their 25-year-old's death was not from alcohol poisoning. The viral video of what her family believes to be of Robinson was too shocking to be brushed aside. It's not exactly clear when the video was taken, but Robinson can be seen being beaten as a male voice in the background is speaking to Robinson and saying,
"Can you at least fight back?"
With the investigative work on the part of the FBI, they later found out that Shanquella had in fact died from severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation. Following the news that Robinson had passed, and so violently, hundreds of folks took to the internet in an attempt to gather information about the people who accompanied Robinson on the trip to Mexico. Their names were not initially released. However, it was later found that allegedly Khalil Cook, Nazir Wiggins, Elise Hyatt, Dejanay Jackson, and Wenter Donovan were on the trip to Cabo San Lucas alongside Robinson. The remaining members of this friend group have removed their social media accounts in the vain hopes of keeping their identity out of the limelight. It's zero surprise these people garnered intense hate online, alongside frequent comments announcing their disgust for their alleged actions. After the video of the assault went viral, comments came flooding in on social media with concern and compassion for Shanquella. Most of the comments voiced that they wanted justice for Shanquella. A lot of the comments pointed out that we should all choose our friends wisely. We couldn't agree more. Taking a good look at the company you keep sounds like excellent advice. Do it often and with careful study. The case became what is known as a femicide, a form of gender-based violence. The leaked footage of Robinson's assault seems to be perpetrated, at least in part, by a woman who is alleged to be Dejanay Jackson, one of Robinson's supposed friends that accompanied her on the trip down to Mexico. In the video, Jackson can be seen beating up a naked Robinson multiple times. The North Carolina Beat revealed that the friend, Wenter Donovan, wrapped her arms around Robinson's neck and slammed her to the ground. Donovan also recorded the physical assault on her phone. A source told the publication that Shanquella Robinson does not move anymore following Donovan's attack. One of the 6 friends allegedly called for help for the medical staff at the resort where they were all staying at. A medical examiner came to the room, and a friend said that Robinson had drunk a lot of alcohol around 2 p.m. The doctor advised that Robinson was drunk and dehydrated, and that they should take her to the hospital to seek help. However, the friends declined the doctor's advice, didn't take her to the hospital, and instead left Robinson there in the vacation rental. When the authorities arrived at the scene on October 29th, they found Robinson dead in the living room of the vacation rental. The official autopsy report confirms that medical officials did come to see her before 3 p.m., but was almost immediately declared dead from sustaining an injury to her spinal cord and neck. Mexican prosecutors have labeled her death as a direct attack, not an accident. When the group finally returned to America, it was allegedly Khalil, Dejanay, and Wenter who told the victims' parents, Salamandra and Bernard, that their daughter had died of alcohol poisoning. These three also visited the parents once they had come back from the trip to return Shanquella's luggage following her passing. None of these three friends told the family of the assault that took place prior to Shanquella's death. It just seems too obvious and sickening, right? To further suggest their guilt was the observations noted by Robinson's sister, Quia Long, who was quoted as saying, "Now, I can go back and say that's why he was pacing. I mean, you would have thought he was coming off something, like he was high. He was nervous, he was sweating and grabbing his beard. It had to be eating him up then." Even Robinson's mother has been quoted in saying how confused all the information was from her daughter's friends. Salamandra told Good Morning America that the day before the autopsy report was released, the friends went over to her house and each one of them told a different story of what happened in Mexico. Salamandra said she did not believe any of their stories. Salamandra is quoted saying that they said she wasn't feeling well. She had alcohol poisoning. They couldn't get a pulse. Each one of the people that were there with her was telling different stories. An arrest warrant was issued, although for who exactly has not yet been disclosed, but it has been stated that it is for a friend of hers who is the direct aggressor. A local prosecutor for the state of Baja California, Sur, said, "I feel so good. That's a good feeling. That's what we've been waiting for someone to finally be held accountable and arrested," Robinson's mother said to ABC News when she found out an arrest warrant had been issued. "I just can't wait for justice to be served." A memorial service was held in Robinson's honor and took place at Charlotte's Little Rock AME Zion Church. It was organized by the Million Youth March of Charlotte and Salisbury Teen Advisory Board and drew hundreds of supporters. This 2.5-hour event hosted speeches from friends, community activists, ministers, and pastors to remember and honor the victim, Shanquella Robinson. Robinson's father, Bernard, spoke out during the event, saying after he saw his daughter's body in the funeral home, he stood there crying like a baby. He said, "I sat there and said, 'Baby, Daddy will get you justice.' All I want is justice," Bernard reportedly said. "I just want the Mexican authorities, the embassy, to do the right thing, make it right, because they came over there on your soil and did what they did and came back here." Unsurprisingly, none of Robinson's friends who were with her in Cabo have responded to any news outlets' repeated requests for comment. As of now, the Mexican authorities are investigating this case. They have at least one arrest warrant already issued by prosecutors, but have refused to release the information of who the warrant is for. But they did confirm that it is one of the 5 friends. No arrests have been publicized at this time, but an arrest could lead to Robinson's friend to spend up to 60 years in Mexican prison. 1 month after Robinson's unfortunate death, the FBI decided to get involved and investigate this case. A spokesperson wrote in a statement to the Charlotte Observer saying, "The FBI Charlotte Field Office has opened an investigation in the death of Charlotte resident Shanquella Robinson in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, on or about October 29, 2022. Due to the ongoing investigation, we have no further comment." This is another horrifying story, one that remains undetermined, and we certainly hope justice is served. Do you think the internet has been an aid in a case like this? All of the online supporters of justice who'd taken an interest in this case and did the research to track down all of the members in the friend group for the public to know and condemn. What do you think of the role of the internet for this case and cases like it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. I'll leave you with this. As we said before, the idea of taking a look at who you know and who you call friends seems like a good one. That's all for now. Be sure to tune in again for another episode of Killer Bites.